cameras with Maya. I've opened up to the same spot that I left off with the lights video. Let's just get rid of the options for now. Give ourselves a little bit more room. Remember that we've got these two lights, a spotlight, which is out in front here someplace you can't see it, and the directional light, which is coming in from the left. I wanted to point out that these lights can be animated along with cameras. So first, animation of the lights, and then we'll bring a camera in. We'll zoom out so we can see our cone. It is selected, so as with animation, back to the first frame, S, and we'll make a change, or a couple of them along the way. So click, make a change, S. I'll go into the middle here, and I'm going to click, and in fact, I'm just thinking I'm going to render this. So let's just go to 50 and 100, and we'll render 100 frames for this video. So click, make a change with where the camera is being aimed. Sorry, not the camera, the light is being aimed. So we clicked in the timeline, made a change. Now we press S to set the keyframe. On the keyboard, S. Click, make a change, S. We'll play this and take a look at how the cone is changing its direction from the right to the left, back to the right. The cone of the spotlight. Now we really can't see anything rendered in terms of the light. We can go to any one point and render it and see, hopefully there will be a little bit of yellow light there. And it's working fine. If we just go a little bit further along, then this light should be back aimed at, as we look at him, the right-hand glove. And sure enough it is. When we render that, batch render it, we'll actually see the light panning across and panning back. And by the way, do notice that we also have animation that I've left there of his arms. So we've got animation of the light and of the arms. Now we're going to put in a camera. From panels, right now there's only one perspective that we can look at this scene from, and that is the perspective at which we have our perspective camera, as it were. So our eyes, where we're sitting, we are the perspective. All we can do is put in a camera and add another perspective. So we're going to click on the camera. It becomes highlighted. Since I had this clicked before, the camera also will have this object that it aims toward. So let's move the camera out, and we'll move it up. Right now it's aimed down at his boots, and that's probably not all that great. So let's move it up toward his face. And to see, it's aimed through his face, so we probably want to bring it up to the front. Now I'm thinking that we're probably too close. Let's just see if we render this. But we see where we rendered it. In that case, it was rendered from the regular perspective view. But if we go to panels perspective, now we have an extra perspective, the perspective of camera 1. Aha. So now if we render this, we are a little bit too far in. So let's zoom out, find our camera. I think we're still not able to see it. We are the camera right now. So we'll need to go back to the perspective view to see the camera. That took a while for me to figure it out, but I'm going to leave it there. So there's the camera now. It's quite a distance away. But I guess that's what we want. So we're going to have to work in the perspective view if we want to work with the camera. And that we shall do. So we'll set a keyframe. And again, keeping this within 100 frames, let's just say the camera moves off to the right and then it moves back. So click, make a change, move it this way, and then maybe this way a little bit, and set the keyframe. And then we'll do the same thing. Click, make a change, and set the keyframe. Now, in order to actually see this, I suppose we can just change to the camera 1 perspective and play it. And it seems like he's rotating, but it's actually the camera which has shifted to the right and now is shifted back. So I will do a quick render of this, reminding you how to render. First of all, we give it a name. This is, how about lights, camera, action? Because we have all three. Again, name, number, dot extension. Don't forget, it has to be GIF for QuickTime to be able to play it. And I think we'll get enough of an idea of what's going on here if we do 50. So we close and we batch render. While we're waiting for this, it won't take too long, but you certainly can see down here the frames that have rendered right now, 1, 2, 3, but also it's too small on mine, but I think it's actually big enough in yours. There's a little number in red there which shows you the number of frames that have been rendered. So we're 30 through. We'll take a look at this. We should see 3 animations. Animations of arms, animations of the lights, and now animations of the camera as well. So into QuickTime we go. This will be a bit of a reminder of where you go to open the image sequence. It's Documents, Maya, on through to Images. We'll go Date Modified, and with a bunch of action going on in the background here, take a look at hours at 10 frames per second. Looks like that camera is a little bit, oh darn it, made a mistake. The mistake I made, which I'm not going to correct right now, you'll have to use your imagination, is I should have gone into Preferences and changed the perspective. I don't want the camera to be the perspective camera, I want it to be my camera. So if I were to do this again, we'd actually see the movement of the camera as well. So 1, 2, 3, plus the frames, plus the camera as well. Biggest thing I think to keep in mind as you play around with this is that when you've got the camera perspective, you can't see the camera because you are it. So to manipulate the camera, go to the regular perspective and then you'll be able to see it. And then treat it like any other object and animate it as you wish.